So, what is Conversations with Coryelle all about? It's a weekly series on a wide variety of topics, from the metaphysical to the philosophical, from the erotic to the exotic, from the mystical to the spiritual. It's all about showing you how to enhance your life. And I'll also be showing you ways on how you can enhance your animals' lives too. I'll be joined by host Kevin McDonald. I'm happy to have you here. Now let's have a conversation.
And welcome to the show, everybody. I got to tell you, this show has been quite literally months in the making. And we've finally gotten around to where Coryelle, in her infinite wisdom, has said, yes, this is when we should do this. And she's feeling good about it, I hope, and so am I. And it's going to be, I got to tell you, it's going to be very interesting. So I'm just going to be learning as much as everybody who's listening is going to be learning. And it really is cool. So, Coryelle Kramer, how are you?
I'm great, Kevin. Thank you very much. Talking about one of my favorite subjects, and human subjects, I should say.
And it is. It's a big human topic, and you're going to have to educate me as well, because I'm not exactly sure how it's going to how it works out and what we're talking about. But so lead me into it, please.
So today I'm talking about something really, really powerful, and it's called personas. It's empowering. They're empowering. They are healing. They are transformative. They are integrating. They are just incredible tools that you can use to really honor a part of you that might need healing, that might need just simply to be seen and heard and acknowledged, to be a part of you that simply might need to be expressed. A persona is anything you want it to be. It can be from a human being persona to an experience you had, to a part of your sexuality, to a part of your emotions, your thought process, trauma that you went through. It can be your animal, an animal spirit guide. It could be a metaphysical piece that you just really resonate with, that feels like it just represents a part of who you are. That's what personas are. Personas are parts of you. They're facets of you that make up you. So there could be, a facet for your sexuality, a facet for your personality, a facet for your belief system, a facet for your spirituality, a facet for anything that you want to express, say, or relate. They are so incredibly powerful. I found out about personas when I was going through the Blueprint certification course with people. And my experience was almost instantaneous healing of a part of me that I had shut down a long time ago. I didn't even realize it. And I'm so excited about it, because from my own experience, when you bring out this essence to the world that you've been keeping hidden, or you shamed yourself into, or you were shamed into keeping quiet, don't be too sexual, don't be too this, or don't be too that, don't be too loud, don't be too much. A persona could be your blueprint if you wanted it to be. I mean, the blueprints for people. I mean, it's a way for you to honor that and bring that out into the light. And when you bring that part of you out into the light and you shine it to the world, it doesn't matter what other people think. It's a way for you to bring out that part, and then through bringing out that part into the light, you take away the dark, or you bring in the dark. There's dark personas. You can honor that part of you too, because we're always told, don't get too angry, be nice, don't be too, don't be too much, don't be too dark and depressing and all this kind of stuff. And, it's like, it's just a way, it's a tool They're tools. They're powerful, powerful tools that are going to enable you to empower and heal and just honor those beautiful parts that make up you.
You know, when you said originally that you told me about the process that when you found your first persona,
Mm-hmm.
and they encouraged you to dress up differently and act differently and allow that to come through you, and you actually acted it out in public. It must have been a very freeing experience
It was.
and terrifying.
But it was also incredibly, transformative. So let me explain. What happened was I started going through the certification course. I should have sent you a picture of my persona Joe, but I can post it later or something. But what happened was that I was part of the certification course, and I was a VA, which they called a virtual VC or VA. Can't remember. Anyway, I was a virtual coach. I was helping 10 other people get through the erotic blueprint course, and we started to learn about personas. And I was like, wow, this could be really powerful. I think this could be really an incredible experience. And it was a little bit before COVID. So I was thinking of, retreats I could do for persona work with people and just really cool stuff. So what happened with me was we were doing an event, and the event had a part of it that was going to talk about personas, and people could come on and be their personas if they wanted to. Now, I swear to you, 30 minutes in, not even in, but 30 minutes before we were going to start that section for all these, I mean, there was probably 300 plus coaches on this call. It was Zoom, of course. And I was like, 30 minutes in, I was like, I'm not going to do nothing. I'll just let everybody else wing it. And I remember looking over at the wall, and I have my father's pork pie hat, which is kind of like a fedora without the bumps on top. So, and I love that hat. I have that hanging. I always look at it. It reminds me of him. And I looked at that thing, and I swear to God, I heard all of a sudden, instantaneously, this part of me came zooming to the front and said, I want to be seen. I need to be heard. I need to be expressed. And instantaneously, I got the hat. I put the hat on, and I painted my face. And this is, again, this is 30 minutes before, 20 minutes up to this point, probably. I painted my face. My entire body changed. My body language changed. My voice changed. The way that my inflection changed. Everything about me changed in an instant. And I realized that this was a part of me that I shut down a long time ago. And it was a male part. And I don't know why, it just that came through as a male part. And it was the sexual part of me that I got really shamed when I was a kid. And it shut down when around about age 3 or 4, probably closer to 4. And I hadn't, I had toned it down. I didn't even realize this part was there until I put on that pork pie hat. And that's when Joe, which is my persona, he came through. And Joe represents so much. He's not just my sexuality or part of my sexuality. He's my father. My father's name was Joe. And it's not a weird sexual thing like anything like that, but it's a part of this facet is that my father was the one that changed my sexual. Okay. So in that, I was able to heal my sexuality at the same time I was able to heal my relationship with my father at that point in time, which I didn't even realize I needed to heal. And instantaneously, I felt this integration. I don't know how else to describe it. I felt like I was soothing that part of me and acknowledging that part of me and actually loving that part of me. It was so incredibly powerful within seconds.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
Let me show a picture of what you're describing. That would be a persona of somebody that is exhibiting their sexual.
It could be. It could be. The sexual can mean anything to you. The sexual could be, the what do they call it? A baby girl or a gentleman or a woman like this. It could be, it's whatever that word means to you. It's incredibly, incredibly powerful. That's why it's so great, because Joe might not be sexual or look sexual to somebody else, or they might be, they might. I mean, I had 300 other coaches on that call, and the text, the chat for that call was blowing up. Oh, Joe's so hot. I was talking and I was like, yeah, I can't do it unless unless I go into it. But I was talking and people like, damn, Joe is hot. I mean, I was touching my face. I was just motioning and stuff. Everything changed. I became Joe. I became my sexual, or one of my sexuals.
Is that because it's like a meditation? Then you were bringing it forth, and it's not like you were creating it; it just appeared.
I think it's more like channeling. I really do.
That's a good way to put it.
That you're when you embody a persona, you the part of you that's going to stop the persona from coming through steps back, and that persona comes fully through. It comes fully through. And it's not like they take over totally and completely. Yeah, they could, absolutely. But they want to be acknowledged. And the more that he heard that he was hot and that he was sexy and that he was damn and holy shit and all this kind of stuff, the more he felt fed. You're feeding that part of you that has been either shut down through traumatic experience or through just, feeling shamed or turning into whatever. I have a persona that is all about sluts. She's a slut, but she's honoring that. She's owning that. She's not shamed by it. And what is a slut?
I was just gonna say that because when you said slut, if she's honoring herself and that's who she is at her core, she's not being sluttish. She's being expressive.
Well, she's being herself, her true essence, and she's it's like when you take the power away from a word, you empower yourself.
Exactly.
So, I don't care. Somebody can laugh at her. She don't care. She don't give a shit. She does stuff that's outrageous. And it's awesome. She sucks on cock pops and she, listens to, fuck me music, and she's got blue hair and she's got a dress that I would never wear. Okay. I would never wear it, but I honored her. That's another thing. So it is so incredibly healing when you allow when you feed your persona. What do I mean by feeding your persona? Getting online or going to a store and allowing that persona to come through a little bit. And picking clothes out for them, picking makeup out for them, picking shoes out for them, picking hair, wigs. Do they wear a wig? What color's the wig? You know, how long is the wig? Let them pick it out. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. You know, I hear her in my head. Oh, yeah. You know, she gets so excited. You know, she was like, I picked out this dress and she almost had a conniption fit. I picked out the hair. But what happened is that you're building this persona through connecting to that essence. It blows my mind how incredibly powerful this is. I keep saying this over and over again, but when you experience this, you understand fully what this is. It can represent, you know, somebody who, you know, you could be somebody who abused you. And then you can be that person, but then you can be that good essence of that person. And that person, that part is healed. You can honor that wildness inside of you by being, I don't know, incorporating your animal spirit guide. And what would your animal spirit guide look like if they were in real? It's so much fun. And, you know, it's like we talk about how, you know, when we were kids, dress up and stuff. It's the same thing, because it's pretty much the same thing, but it's more. Because little kids dress up and they just want to dress up, but you see them act differently. As soon as they put on the high heels, they walk different. They put on the lipstick, they talk, they look different. You know, they put on the hat, they stand different. You know, it's like it's that, but it's more than that. Because little kids don't need to heal themselves. They want to, this is what they want to aspire to be when they grow up. For us, it's more of a empowering healing experience, or it can be.
Now, do you think that when the personas come out, are they part of your soul? Are they part of your mind, your subconscious? Where? Because I'll give you an example. One time I was with a group of people, and it was a kind of a meditative exercise to allow your spirit guide or a spirit guide to come out, and in this case it was that, and I laughed. My spirit guide came out and he just laughed. That's all he did. I've never laughed that way before or again or since, but it was just that, and it was incredibly freeing.
Yeah.
And because I was letting something else out that I had either kept hidden or in or whatever. So is it your soul? Is it your mind? What is it? What's a persona? Where's it come from?
I think it could be everything. I think it could be what something represents to you. Like if mermaids represent power to you, then, you know, whatever, then that's a persona. If it's you know, it could be, like I said, it could be a strong emotion like rage. It could be a mindset like conformity. You know, it could be, what does your rage look like? What does rage look like to you? What does it feel like to you? It could be something that you've channeled. I mean, I went to a persona ball with when I went to Colorado in 2019. Yes. When I went to Colorado in 2019, and we did Path to Passion. And one of the things was the persona ball. And the persona ball I was really looking forward to, because my persona came out and she was my kinky persona, or one of them, you know. And I called her Lyra Much because she liked to watch. She loves to watch. So she likes to Lyra Much. So what happened was that I became her, and she was so freeing. She was my kinky part, the part that I had hidden. That was the first time I ever allowed my kinky to be seen by other people live. It was incredibly freeing. So it could be anything. It could be, like I said, it could be your God, your spirit guide. It could be your mindset of kind of like what's it called? What it could be just the way that you like to dress up. You could just dress up in, cosplay. I think cosplay, even though it's called costume play, I think it's persona play.
Sure, it would be, because you're dressing, and also it's not you.
Right.
See, I kind of equate it like acting. When you're on the stage, and you're deeply involved with the character,
Mm-hmm.
you're not on the stage. It's not you anymore. You're not even thinking of, once you know your lines really well, you're not even thinking of what, okay, here I got to walk here, and here I got to go there, and then
Right.
you are just there. You're
You
just
become
in
them.
it. You
Yes.
become them.
Yes. Show the picture of the gentleman with the hat, the steampunk. Look at him. That's his persona. He's not him.
No.
The way he's standing with the pipe, the way I guarantee you that man put on that hat instantaneously. He turned into that character.
And he exudes confidence, and I would be willing to bet that, take all of that away from him, he's not nearly as confident as who he is versus who that is.
Or maybe it helps him build his confidence so then he can be who that is in his true self. I mean, Joe healed me with confidence. The more that people were seeing him and acknowledging him, the more I felt, confident and okay, this is okay. This is okay. This is confirming for me that I am okay, and that I am not a a, a deviant or whatever. Show the
Right.
picture of the woman with the red face.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. Now this could represent rage. That's powerful, because when I went to, I forgot to say this. So when I went to Path to Passion, I got up and I was able to have Lyra be seen. Okay. One of the people that were a part of it, that's a friend of mine, she dressed as rage. And that was her thing. It wasn't like this, but it was extremely powerful. And it healed her because she wasn't able, she was always told, be nice, be nice. Don't, or they were being told to be nice, be nice. Fuck nice. That doesn't do anything for us. When we can express our rage in a powerful, healing way and honor that, I guarantee you, if we do more work like this, there'll be less people acting out and hurting one another.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. Because, yeah, I get it. Because you're doing some, I don't even know how to explain it, but I get it, I think.
You're allowing yourself safely in a safe space, whether it's your home or it's a place with a consent container like Path to Passion was. You're allowing yourself to feel this strong emotion without judgment, without conditions. Of course, not hurting anybody, consent container conditions, but it's very enabling. I keep saying it's just mind blowing how this can help somebody.
And it can be as simple as, I'll put up this picture. It could be as simple as doing that.
What does this represent? This could represent anything. This could represent your playful side. This could represent your feminine side. It could represent your masculine side. It could represent whatever it means to her. Is like, and when you do stuff like this, it's so important to just take that essence, that facet of you. I can't tell you how important it is to have it seen. It just feels like, oh, like your whole being is just sighing. Oh, yeah, I'm honoring this part of myself. And it's okay. And I don't care what other people think.
You know what's interesting about you is that when I first met you and we did our first podcast together,
Yeah.
you were different than you are now.
Uh-huh.
There's been a change at a fundamental level of who
Thank
you
you.
are, because there was a time, I think, when you were chasing your tail a little bit and trying to do what everybody else was doing and stuff. But now it's like, I don't care, and it's easy and it's free, and you're alive. I can you're alive, really alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that class that you went through, but really, because you should see your face. Now I want you to watch this after after we're done with this, because your face is shining with the acceptance of the personas and what you did, because they were so impactful to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. I'll watch. I'll watch.
I know you don't like watching yourself, but that's
No,
okay.
I don't mind. I do. A lot of times I do, because see if it's important to for me to do that because um I it helps me to heal the part of myself that doesn't like the way I sound or thinks that I'm using, a word too much or I'm moving my hands too much or whatever. And I'm just like, chill it out. It's ready. It's up there already. So let it go. That's a part of myself. That's a part of myself. That's a good point. A persona can also be a part of yourself that you don't like. Now, I'm not saying I didn't like my sexual. I'd shut that one down. But what does that persona of me, that critical persona of me look like? What does she look or he look or they look like? I don't know. It hasn't come through yet. But and what do they say? You know, and it could be, I'm not going to say it's not terrifying. Think of it, having a persona, your judgmental persona coming through. And dressing up is your judgmental persona and letting them lay into you. Really lay into you, get all that stuff out that they've always wanted to say that you keep in the back of your mind. But then think about how it would be to hug that persona, hug yourself, or send that persona love. Will that then heal it so that the judgment and the self-criticism stops? It might activate it a little bit, but I think eventually, if you show it love, you will heal it. That's powerful shit, man. There's a lot of people that's going through thousands of dollars a year in therapy just to do that.
That's true. That's really true. And class after class after class, and seminar after
Wow,
seminar after
that's
seminar.
another subject, the therapy rut. Oh,
Yeah,
please.
they're all,
No.
and it's because they're not getting fundamentally to the core of the issue.
Right. Or they keep on saying the same issue over and over and over and over and over again until it's such an old tape that it's like, my mom didn't love me. No, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, okay, but at one point you got to say, you got to find your peace, So the persona works helps you to find your peace in a lot of ways. It gives you that platform to find peace and acceptance of yourself. So you can do whatever the hell you want to do with your persona. I mean, a persona can be pretty much anything.
Do you have any idea how many personas we carry within us?
Oh God, it can be hundreds. I haven't, it depends on how delving, it depends on what feels right to you. I think it depends on what you feel like you want to acknowledge about yourself. You know, um, I think it could be. I think people, humans. I think animals too. I think we're multifaceted beings. I am constantly learning about myself. So I have a dark energetic persona. I haven't really worked on I think I have to call them they. I'm not sure if they're gender. But I bought this black wig, and I know exactly the way she stands and the way she acts. And I just, it's like it could be they keep coming up. They keep coming up. And I'll do something for them. Like I'll buy the wig, or I'll buy the makeup, or the nail polish, or the piece of clothing, because that honors them. It lets them feel like, okay, she might not be fully ready to step into me right now, but at least she's got something. She's not pushing me aside. So I bought that black wig. I haven't bought anything else for my dark energetic, but I have that in the closet. And every time I look at it, I open up the closet, I look at it, I say, okay, hello, how are you?
So now, what does this one say to you?
I think that one's powerful. I think that one is conformity. I mean, that's the first thing that I thought of. How is society keeping you locked in? How are you keeping yourself locked in? And then think about this. Once that healing happens, or maybe it's part of the healing, how do you heal your conformity? Maybe you unlock those chains and let them fall. That's mind-blowing to me. That's mind-blowing. Or maybe you want to stay in that conformity so that you can feel what it's like when you finally release it. It could be anything. This could be, for some people, this could be rage. For some people, it could be shame. For other people, it could be, sexual closed offness. I don't know. For some people, it could be kinky. We talked about the kinky. Kinky is anything that you think is taboo or naughty. So I love it. I mean, I love images. I have images. I love images. I'm a very visual person. So I'll go on these free image sites and I'll just look, through them. I have a powerful persona, persona folder that I'll sometimes use as my desktop pictures. And I love them. They give me ideas. Go on some of these sites and see if you're not sure, if you need help, if you need help with being being a sexual person or your sexuality in and of itself. Go on these sites, look up sexuality, see what comes up. Does something come up that really, that's it. That's part of it. So there's a lot of ways that you can start, a lot of places you can start. I'm not telling you to unless it feels right to you, dress up and go walking down Main Street in your persona. But it feels right to you.
Yeah, but think about this. It would be very freeing to do that, because it's ultimately it's not you. It
could be, but some people are not ready for that.
Well, that's true.
Some people are not ready for that. I had to prepare. Lyra Much came through probably in, I would say probably in summer of 2019. And Path to Passion wasn't until October. I wasn't ready. I got her ready, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to bring her out in public. But I'll tell you one thing. One of the things that was extremely healing was when you stand in a room with, I don't even know how many people were there. Must have been 600. And you're in this room. Nobody could touch anybody. There's no touching. It was just walking around in a circle or dancing or whatever. And all of a sudden, I was able to say, I'm in this room as Lyra, honoring her, not ashamed. And all of a sudden I look down and there's this guy and he's praying to me. I mean, literally praying to Lyra. And she loved it. She loved it. He was on his knees praying to her. And I was like, she was like, yes, that's what I need. I need that. I need that. I need to be acknowledged. I need to be seen. I need to be expressed. I need to be fed. I need to be worshiped. And she got it. It was awesome, man.
So what was his persona?
I don't know. I can't remember because you couldn't really talk to people. It was just about enjoying the experience. And maybe he needed that. Maybe he was submissive. Maybe he just needed to feel himself giving himself over to a beautiful woman. I don't know. But, you know, he felt good. He felt better. The next day I saw him and he was like, that was incredible. I was like, yes, I know. Thank you. You know, personas, powerful healing. More than you can ever imagine. So what's the harm? Ask yourself, what part of you do you want to acknowledge? You might not even know what it is. And then just look on Etsy, look under wigs and see what something comes up, what resonates in it to you, what and why. What does that represent to me? I don't know. Feel it out.
It's interesting because a lot of us have no earthly idea what else that we would be. So you got to get in touch with yourself to even go down that road at all, don't you?
Oh, of course. Yeah, to a certain extent, you have to have openness. You have to be willing. But that's with anything. Yeah. You know, think about this, Kevin. Think about how empowering it would be, and just bear with me, empowering it would be for that part of you that was hurt in your past relationships to come through, to speak, to act, to move, to think, to be. Oh, and then you ask yourself, does this part of me need to be healed more? And how do I do that? But maybe just expressing that part of you, that anger, that disappointment, that frustration, that rage, maybe that's a way for you to heal yourself. You're acknowledging yourself. But the first question you ask is, what does this part of me look like? What would this part of me wear or say or do or be? And then you interview that part of you so that you can kind of stay a little bit distant, because some of it is strong emotion. But the more that you talk to it, because ignoring it, how's that working out for you?
See, it would be like, you know, like I'd have to go to Army surplus. I don't have fatigues, but I would go to Army surplus to get fatigues because part of the fantasy is, because there were more than just two people involved in this scenario. The fantasy would be to make it right, and it would be rage. It would be a unbelievable rage that I would need to exercise somehow. That would be tough. But it would be a military. I can't even say it because somebody's going to find my wife buried in the backyard, and it's going to be like, oh boy.
But that's the thing. I think if you're doing it in a healthy way, right, that it's not about hurting the other person. It's about healing you. Right. So, okay, get dressed up in fatigues and go to a paintball course. Get dressed in fatigues and go to or something else like that there, and go to a martial arts class, you know, or something else like that there, because it's like you don't necessarily have to go with the face paint and the chains over the face and all this kind of stuff. I mean, Lyra much, you wouldn't know who she was. She wasn't wearing, she was wearing maybe a little bit of chains and stuff like that. This is part of Lyra. I'll give you any amount of money. She's coming through right now. I put this on and it feels better. It feels like I'm honoring that part of me. So it's like you can have a little facet coming out. So wearing the fatigues would honor that part of you, but you don't have to go full blown, and then painting your face fatigue unless that feels right. But you can tone it down so you can go out into society a little bit and not scare children. And then go and work that out as that persona.
And I think ultimately you're right. I think that is extremely healthy to be able, even if you're doing it in front of a therapist and you're doing it at home, or somebody else who's a really, really good friend who understands the pain that you've been through, who can then help you, and you can act out in a safe environment, and that can really help you to come to grips and come to terms with what's gone on in your life. And because we've all had horrific things happen to us at one point, some are worse than others, but we've all had horrific things happen to us, and we hide them because nobody wants to hear about it.
I think one of the powerful things about this whole persona work is, and I understand, I don't want to trigger anybody, okay? So, but just think about this. And if it triggers somebody, if you've had trauma and severe abuse, then maybe you not want to turn this off right now. Okay, I'll give you a second to turn it off. But one of the personas I'm thinking about is my mom's ex-boyfriend, dressing up as him, and seeing what you can do with that, seeing what that is. Is there still a part of you or a part of him inside of me? I don't feel like I really need to do that, but it could be very powerful. It could also be very triggering. Not everybody's ready to dress up as their abuser, whether it's verbal abuse or physical abuse or mental abuse, doesn't matter. It's all abuse. Whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's whatever, man, but that could be very healing, because the parts that we try to keep down or the parts that we shut off are coming through in other places. So when I honored Joe and I came through as Joe, I realized that even though I had shut that part of me down, there were other parts that it was bubbling up. Oh, that's why I do this. Oh, that's why. It also answers questions. This is why I do this. This is why I act this way like this. Or this is why I say things or think this way or something else like that. It really and truly opens you up so that you can fully deal with it, as opposed to shutting it down or keeping it on the down low or whatever that might be.
It's kind of like keeping your finger in the dike, and you've got only so many fingers and so many toes to plug up so many holes that are leaking through, that eventually it's gonna break. But if you can repair them one at a time, you can get through it, I would think.
Yeah. I think so.
How was that for an analogy? I'm proud of myself. That was a good analogy.
That was very good. That was very good. I think it's about that. I think it's, we have to get to the point if we're lucky, okay, we get to a point in our life where we're just, enough is enough.
Yeah.
I have to deal with this. I can't. I want to be free. I want to be free. I want to be peaceful. I want to be happy. I want to be content. I want to be joyful and joy-filled. And I think really and truly doing something like this is a way for you to really be good to yourself, to treat yourself gently, to treat yourself strongly, but to treat yourself in such a way that, you, with the thing in mind that this is going to help me heal, the intention that this is going to help me heal. And again, like I said, I don't want to be in this inner turmoil anymore, and it's locked up and angry all the time, and miserable and depressed, and I want to be free. I want to accept who I am. Yes, I'm a sexual being, and it's okay. I was a sexual being when I was a kid. It just was a thing. I loved the body. I loved being naked. I would run around, all naked and shit. And I loved to, I had a little boyfriend at the time. Oh, it was my boyfriend. He was a boy. He was a kid. He was a baby. But we would play doctor, and that's where I was shamed. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved playing doctor. I loved examining him. I loved doing that whole thing. Not sexually, just because it's the body, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's fun, and it was empowering. I had this power over this little kid. Of course, I'm like a little kid too. I'm 4 or 5 years old. Okay. But I don't know, it just, when I think about it now, it answers a lot of questions. So this is why I like this now. And this is why I do this now, but it's like, and as soon as my mother came through the door, she was okay for a second, and then my father came through the door, and I don't remember anything after that. Not that my father ever hit me. He didn't. But I remember him. I remember vaguely him screaming or yelling, I should say. And then it's like the curtains are closed, and I can't remember anything after that.
Well, two things. Number one, why didn't I have any girls like you in my neighborhood? And and number two, that was such a traumatic experience for you that you shut down, right?
Yeah.
And it never, and was it the personas that allowed you to deal with it and bring it back?
It was the persona of just being Joe, and then having him being seen by others. That was important. Okay. It doesn't always have to be important. You could stay in your own room and do your own persona work and stuff like that there. But the fact that there were all these people on there, and they had those comments coming through, and the more he got those comments, the more he was coming through, and the stronger he became, and the more empowered he became, and the more bigger he became. And it just became this awesome juggernaut of huge emotion. And I wasn't the only person. There were a lot of people who had their personas, who were experiencing it. And then I just realized how much it healed me. And then I came rushing through, and Joe got back. I was just crying at that point, because it was just amazing. I didn't even realize I needed to heal this part. And there it was. Boom. It was healed.
Now, when you finished and you went back to your hotel room, because you were in Colorado, and you took off the attire that you were wearing to be Joe, how did you feel after that?
Actually, Lyra. I was Lyra, and I was online as Joe and Lyra Much in Colorado.
Oh, okay. So when you finished with that and you took off the garments and returned to yourself, how did you feel after that? Did you feel changed?
Yes. Empowered.
And
acknowledged.
So it hung with you. It wasn't a fleeting thing that while you were there you were having. It was something that hung with you and actually began to change you in some manner.
It was a huge part of my time in Colorado. Huge part. That I knew it was going to be huge. I knew it was going to be huge. And there were two parts to the time in Colorado that were huge. One was when I played the AB game, which is a game of touch, different touches to see which one you liked. And we did this with a group of people. And that was transformative for me because I realized what kind of touches I liked and why. And to be able to share that with another human being or human beings was huge. But the persona ball, that was it. That was at the end of Pat's Passion, and that was like the bow on the present that I was given at that place, because I realized how powerful this could be. And I also realized how much fun I was going to have and the retreats I was going to do and still will, I mean, now that COVID is contained, I guess you could call it, hopefully, things are starting to open up again. The world is starting to awaken. And I think the personas, especially since we've been in quarantine and really having to work on ourselves and really getting to know who we are, I think there's a lot of personas that came through, a lot of facets of people that came through that they weren't even aware of before they went into that container of of COVID, So I think a lot of stuff came through during that time, which I think is not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a good thing.
Well, I would love to see you put together a workshop and to do that with 10 or 12 people and have it be like a course, because it can what you're talking about can really, if you treat it and do the work, treat it right and do the work, it can be life-changing. It can change your relationships. It can change your work life. It can change what you're willing to put up with and not put up with. It can change everything about you because you're now coming to grips with it. And most of us never do that.
No. And the retreats I want to do, I think, would be even more on a hugely, hugely bigger healing level, because it would be primal work. And what I mean by primal work is that part of ourselves, whether it is the fear and flight and fright and flight part of yourself, or whether it's the dominant part of you, or whether it's the submissive part of you, or whatever, primal workshops where you embody your animal spirit guide. What is your animal spirit guide? And how do you interact with others in your animal spirit guide? I mean, it could be really powerful stuff. I'm really excited about being able to do those eventually, I think. And in the Costa Rican jungle, I mean, come on, that would be freaking awesome. Dressing up as your animal spirit guide, going in the jungle and going at each other in a good way, nothing bad, but going after yourself in a primal way. I mean, it could be healing on a very, 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 very deep level.
Now they got snakes there. There's not a chance I'd go down there. But if you want to do it up here in the Northwest, I could do that. We could go through and find Bigfoot.
Bigfoot is a persona. There you go. It's very, very important work. It's really, really important work, and it is so rewarding to see someone be their persona, and then you see that healing that's happening for them as they go through that, as they evolve more and they evolve more and they talk more and they talk. It's so honoring to see something like that and be a part of something like that. It's one of the big reasons why I love this work. It's one of my favorite things to do. I don't know. I think my work with people is evolving. I think I needed to work with the animals first. I think that was really important for me. The animal dynamics, the animal chakra touches, things like that there. I needed to really do that work, and I still am. But I know that my work with people is coming. I know it is. And it's not going to be the way that I learned it. But then again, that ain't a surprise. That's me. I take shit, make it my own, but that's the power in it. And I think I want to do a lot of work around personas.
Yep. And Leslie Camp is in my camp. Yep. No snakes. I like that, Leslie. Thank you for
Oh,
that validation.
yeah. Yeah, well, okay. I don't think the snakes are so bad, but snake energy can be very, very healing, you know. Very healing, I think. The thing that I wanted to here, I'm gonna send this to you. But what I wanted to let you know was there was a woman by the name of on last week's show during the name game, there was a woman called Shelley Young Lewis was on, and she was talking about, looking up. We were talking about the names, and I said, well, look up another language,
Oh yeah.
because her husband wanted to call her spirit, and she was like, I ain't feeling it. I said, what's the name in another language? And she said, Esprit. So they got the dog, and they named her full name is Esprit de Bonita, and they call her Spree for short.
That's a great name.
That is a great name. And it fits her. I mean, it fits her. Spree could be just like all out crazy, and it could be all out energy and just go. Hi, Shelly. I didn't see you. Thanks for coming on. But I think that's awesome. I think and again, it's the name. That's part of the persona too.
Sure.
A name could be extremely healing, because when I put on that hat and I knew that I was going to call myself Joe, I was healing everything. My relationship with my father, I was healing my sexual, I was healing everything. And it's fun to play with this. I mean, it's fun to play with it with your partner. It's like it's safely. Again, putting up, if you play it with another person, if you do persona play with another person, just put up a container. What's acceptable? What's not acceptable? What do you expect? What do you not expect? What are the guidelines? No means no. And nobody can change their mind. It's really important to put up that container so everybody feels as safe as they possibly can to express however they are without judgment.
Well, the thing that struck me about what you were just saying about that is that there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of couples that never get that deeply involved in a conversation to even talk about what is going on with our inner selves and stuff like that, and to be able to play in that way in such a clear manner and to accept somebody unconditionally. And can you tell that didn't happen in my marriage? Unconditional love and that kind of thing. So it would be, I think, very therapeutic to the relationship of a marriage to put that together, to do that.
Sure, absolutely. And it's like it's therapy. Think of it like internal therapy, internal work that you have to do. That's the most important thing is that this is people being able to express themselves however they need to express themselves, honoring themselves, honoring each other, and it heals just the relationship. I'm not saying everybody's got to get up into like chains and whips and leather and stuff. It's you might. How about this? The man dresses up as a woman and you dress up as a man. How does that feel? How does that look? What's all that about? How does that make you feel? Does it or you both dress up as men? I don't know. Doesn't matter. There's a lot of stuff that the personas are infinite. They can represent anything, a mindset, an emotion, a person, a trauma, a drama, your inner essence, your kink side, your sexual side, your free side. What does your free side look like? What does your bubbly side look like? Your girly side look like? Your male side look like? What does your divine feminine mean to you? What does your divine feminine mean to you? What does your God or your goddess mean to you? Dress up as your spirituality. That's
Yep.
that's heavy, man. That's heavy. I'm getting ideas. No, that's heavy. I mean, what does your spirituality, if your spirituality was a living, breathing being, what would he, she, they, or them look like? Or it?
And once you got into that, what would they say? Because that would also be part of it.
How do they like to be interacted with? How do they say? How do they stand? How do they sit? How do they move? How do they dance? Go get into your persona of, I don't know, divine feminine, and then go to a dance class. And how would they move? What music do they like to listen to? You know, personas are huge in music. That I have a lot of playlists that are just talking about, you know, that are my sensual. I have one for my sexual. I have one for my kinky. I have one for my energetic. I have one for my shapeshifter. I have one for the sixth one that I'm going to be announcing once it's all ready to rock and roll. I just, you know, it's huge. It's really, really powerful. And you don't even have to dress up like them. There's sometimes I just listen to the music and I feel like I'm honoring that part of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got my rocker. I got my heavy metal. I got my Metallica, you know, my headbanger. These are all personas. I haven't necessarily brought them out, but I think there are different ways that you can honor these facets of you by getting stuff that honors them, like soft stuff to lay on or to sit on that honors that feeds your sensual, that feeds your energetic, maybe that feeds that part of you that likes to feel good. Maybe this is all feeding your facets, feeding your facets. I like that. Feeding your facets. So yeah, so there you go. Oh, well,
Now that
thank you.
wasn't me. I didn't do that. Somebody did that. But it's nice of them to be using my account like that. Speaking deeply to speaking deeply to my soul lady. Apparently, I have a soul lady. So anyway, but so Coryelle, if somebody wants to delve into this topic a lot more, can they call you or
No,
text? No, okay.
they can email me. They can contact me through my website, and fill out the form, and then, or they can contact me through Facebook if they wanted to and find out more about this persona work. I will put them on the list for people that I'm going to be working with. But right now, I am so immersed in the animal dynamics and the work that I'm doing with the animals and the healing work I'm doing with them that I want to really focus on this for the next at least couple more months, because this is big stuff. This is transformative stuff that's happening. And then when I am able to talk about the sixth dynamic and the sixth blueprint, then I think I'm going to be ready to work with people. But that doesn't mean that you can't contact me. I will absolutely put you on the list, because I guarantee you I'm going to have a waiting list for this too. So you're going to want to get on it. Okay, get on that list now so that I can send you that later, so you don't have to wait months and months and months. Hi, Kayla.
She wanted to come on and meet you today, but it just didn't work out. She's got a little one that she has to worry about. So
Oh, that's what I thought. That was Kayla who was talking about speaking to your soul.
yes. Oh, very good, very good. So that's awesome. So
Oh, sorry, I forgot. My website is CoryelleKramer.com.
I was just gonna say that. So and it's awesome because you now have a waiting list, which I predicted, of course, and which is really cool because you're also doing in-depth, really deep work with people and animals to really initiate and create positive change that will stick and be there forever.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what this work is doing, how this work is changing animals' lives and their people's lives.
You have no words.
And that's not happening often.
No,
I'll guarantee you. But it's just, this work is so powerful. This work with the animals. And I think that when I start getting the guidelines for working more with people, I have the foundation and the idea, but I really want to find how to make it my own. And I definitely think persona work is one of the big facets it's going to be. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's fun to be free.
It is. It is. Your heart is free. Have the courage to follow it. That's a favorite mantra of mine. So
I love that.
Coryelle Kramer, it's so nice to have you here every Tuesday at noon. Tell your friends, tell people who would like to have an opportunity to listen to her. We come up with the most interesting topics every week, and we have no earthly idea what we're going to talk about. We'll figure that out at 9:00 in the morning next Tuesday, probably. But it will be really cool. And so I want to thank everybody for being here. Any last thoughts that you'd like to bring up before we go?
Yeah, personas are powerful. They're healing, they're transformative, and it's a way to honor you. It's a way to really honor who you be and not care what anybody else thinks. It's freeing beyond belief. So think about it. Think how you can interact this into your life, how you can immerse this and interject this into your life. How can I do this? What little step, doesn't have to be big. What little step can I do to honor a facet of me today? That's it.
And relax and enjoy life. And Coryelle taught me this a couple of weeks ago. When it's your time and it's your day to leave with no regret. No regrets at all. Leave it all on the table. And that means exploring every facet of yourself, and personas is a major part of that. So thank you again. I thoroughly enjoy this hour together. So it's great fun.
Thank you, Kevin. I do too.
By the way, and for those of you that are listening, I need to tell you that my independence report is changing. And starting next week, and I think I'm going to do this if I survive it. Starting next week, we are going to go to 3 hours every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 4 Pacific time. And we'll have great guests. I've got musical guests lined up. I've got Coryelle Kramer, and we're gonna go run through all of the animal blueprint, or all the animal prints and the erotic blueprints. Yes, and all of the dynamics and all of those things. And so you need to pay attention. And that's going to start next week. And my friend Kayla is tasked with helping me. So we're going to be on the air a lot. So if you're out and about between 1 and 4, we'll be there, so you can tune in. So I hope that everybody has a great day today, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Now, next Tuesday, she's going to be on at noon, just like normal. But then we've got great guests after that, so you can stay for the entire 3 hours, including our first country music song guy. Hopefully, he won't come up with a bad country music song like The Story of My Life, but that's beside the point. So, Coryelle, thank you. Go to CoryelleKramer.com. Have a great day, everybody. Hey, and thanks for listening to this episode all the way to the end. Hey, pretty cool. Hey, don't forget to follow us so you can receive regular updates and new posts. And remember, take care of each other, because each other's all we got. See you next time.
on My Independence Report.